A family checks into an Airbnb and finds a framed picture of themselves hanging on a wall. An AI apparently escapes, and people are losing their minds over a robot helping teachers. Yep, I've got concerns. Don't you know, can't you hear, won't you see Gene here alive and in living color right here on the YouTube presenting to you? Gene has concerns. Top 9. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And, you know, this is going to be cool. This is going to be my weekly countdown of 9 stories that have happened throughout the week that, well, let me explain it to you this way. There are moments that either cause me to say, what in the blue hell? Flaming idiots, dumbassery at its finest, holy wow moments, or just weird things going on, and all sorts of other stuff. So I'm really excited about doing this for you. And there's a lot of dumbassery out there, and I hope we have some fun with that, and a lot of holy wow moments too. So, and it's not always going to be bad stories, not always going to be funny stories, or not always going to be serious stories, but just those things that I find peculiar. And got my cue cards right here, ready. And I may not mention names, just protect the innocent, or at least the perceived innocent. Let's put it that way. So, but now, I also got a special announcement at the end of this episode, so make sure to tune in for that. Because this is going to be a big deal for me. So, and a big deal for the world in the long run. So, but now, that's enough talking. Let's go with
Number 9.
family finds their own photo hanging inside an Airbnb. Now, this is a good one right here. I like this one. And, you know, it's just kind of weird. Can you imagine checking an Airbnb, discovering your picture, a picture of yourself or your family up on their wall? It wasn't just a little frame. It was a great big thing, you know? And so family checks into Airbnb in Oceanside, California, and they notice a framed beach photograph hanging on the wall. And one of the family members, I think it was the grandfather of the 2 girls we see here, said, hey, that looks like us. They took a closer look, and it was actually them. And you can see right here, she's pointing one of them out. How weird is that? That's kind of out there. And the picture is taken about 10 years earlier during a beach gathering of the family, and they didn't realize it. It was some guy flying a drone, professional photographer, taking pictures, and the Airbnb didn't know the family. The photograph was he just purchased it to hang in his Airbnb. And, you know, it's just decorative art. That's all it was. And the host even offered the family a print to take home with them, as they didn't even know the print existed. The photo existed. Now, this isn't stupid. It's not scary. It's not dumbassery. It's just plain weird. How would you feel? Well, you know, I mean, just wow. You think somebody was playing a prank on them or something, right? But nothing criminal, nothing supernatural. Just, yeah. From there, you know, something is just weird. Let's go to a story that's a whole lot more concerning.
Number 8.
Sophie Cunningham licensing controversy. So, Sophie, I don't know. What in the blue hell? Let's get into this a little bit. You know, who wants to make a profit off viral moments? Everybody, right? Now, I don't know how actively she was pursuing this or not, but still, something a little bit wrong here. Remember this viral scene? Sophie pointing. Now, she's not pointing at the coach there. She's pointing past him. And, you know, it was one of the most viral moments in WNBA history. Kind of helped put WNBA more on the map because people watching basketball more because of it, watching women's basketball, you know? And fans immediately wanted merchandise from it. They wanted a t-shirt, shoes, I mean, all sorts of stuff. But, I don't know, unions are good, unions can be bad, and I think this is a bad part of a union. The WNBA PA. According to reports, the Women's National Basketball Players Association instructed its official licensees not to produce merchandise using the viral image, reportedly because they didn't want to promote or profit from an image tied to an on-court confrontation or perceived violence. Yeah, that's right. When I say official licensees, I'm not talking about, just any Joe Blows. We're talking about the companies that have contracts to make and sell officially approved WNBA merchandise. So if one of those companies wanted to put Sophie's now famous pointing pose or gesture or caricature on a shirt or shoes or whatever, according to reports, that wasn't allowed through the official licensing process. So that decision surprised a lot of fans because the demand was clearly there. That was a big profit center. And so many people rushed out with their memes and postings saying the WNBA blocked Sophie, and it wasn't them, it was the Players Association that asked the licensees not to. But come on. This is where my concern comes in. If one of your players creates one of the biggest viral moments of the year of actual history of the league, why wouldn't you want to find a way for everybody to benefit? Get everybody paid, I mean, this is just my opinion, but to me, it feels like it's a missed opportunity. If somebody wanted to put that pointing image on a shirt or poster, or maybe someday even a pair of shoes, like I said before, I think the league and the Players Association would want to figure out a way to make that happen, not just stand in the way of it. Instead, I'm saying it sounds like the official licensing system needs some work. I mean, this is a what in the hell blue moment for me. We got one of the hottest viral moments. Fans want it. Give it to them. But no, it's not promoting on-court confrontation and perceived violence. It's promoting the viral moment and this rivalry. Now, come on. Rivalries? I mean, doesn't hockey have merch on rivalries? We know pro boxing does, UFC, and especially pro wrestling since the 80s. They've been selling merch and making money off rivalries for decades now. Look at the money that they're all missing out on. And hopefully they can find some sort of resolution for this because, I mean, come on, really? This cha-ching, 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 flush. Come on. All right. Let's go on to something a little bit disgusting.
Number 7.
Concert goer allegedly pees on family. Now, this was a family, husband, a wife, and their niece. And this is dumbassery at its finest. Not for them, because they're the victims. Okay. So the family attended a Morgan Wallen concert in Baltimore, expecting it to be a fun night. Instead, they allege a man sitting behind them exposed himself, pulled out his finger, and urinated on them during the concert. Yuck. Disgusting. According to the family, the victims included the husband, the wife, and the 8-year-old niece, like I said. And in the video posted to social media, officers initially told the male victim they could not do anything unless they witnessed it. And he's very upset about this. He's recording them saying this, that, there's nothing they can do. So a man can pull his junk out in front of an 8-year-old girl behind her, but still, she turns around. There it is. Hello. And bleachers. Hello. And he pees on them. Not pees in a cup, not pees off to the side, not squats down and pees on the floor. No, pees on them. Just absolutely fracking disgusting. Now, Maryland Transportation Authority police, who I guess govern the facility where they were at with the concert, has said that they're got an active and open criminal investigation in the matter. So, and that's according to TMZ. So you spend hundreds of dollars for tickets, parking, food, drinks, and you come home to talk about this and not the wonderful time at the concert. To me, the peer, that's dumbassery at its finest. Apparently, somebody thought the restroom was an option, you know? And folks, if you can't make it through a concert without peeing on another human being, maybe you shouldn't be going to concerts. Hello? Anyway, now, gotta be honest with you. Another side point to this. I had never heard of Morgan Wallen that I know of. So I guess there's a little bit of truth in the saying there's no such thing as bad publicity. Because now I got to go look him up and listen to his music and see if I'm a fan of his or not, you know. And let's be clear, he wasn't involved in this. It was just his concert. And, you know, maybe get some good publicity out of it too. Maybe he'll do some stuff for the family. Hopefully. Hey, Morgan, contact the family. Send them some pictures. Send them some music. Send them some signed autograph memorabilia. So, now, I hope they do prosecute the guy, and especially for the kid. And even his video, he shows the wife and the niece walking by, and the niece is just crying. She's very upset about it. Now, she might be upset because of the way that the two adults hyped it, or just the fact that someone peed on her. We don't know, but either way, it was traumatizing to her. So, now, let's go from, I don't want to take two of these, I only want one of these. Let's go from dumbassery at its finest to a holy wow moment.
Number 6.
You could also, this is kind of a just weird moment too, but I think holy wow fits. Japan, Dateline, 2026. They've developed what's called a human refrigerator. And I'm going to play a real short clip here. You kind of see this woman. She climbs into the refrigerator and she takes a chill. She's chillaxing. It's a walk-in cooling booth designed for workers exposed to extreme heat. A person steps inside, and in a few minutes, they're chilled. It's kind of weird, but kind of cool. Blasts of air around their body, helps lower the body temperature quickly. Designed for construction workers, factory workers, delivery drivers. And, you know, now delivery drivers, hopefully you got AC in the car. You don't need that. But other workers in dangerous summer heat, stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Intended to reduce the risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. That's great. Now, this is kind of innovative. It's kind of innovation I can get behind. A refrigerator for people? Holy wow. And, you know, honey, I'm hot. Go stand in the fridge. Okay. You know, when the boss says take 5, it literally means go chill. So, I don't know. Probably Florida could probably use a few thousand of these around, couldn't they? It's pretty hot around here. And Europe, what I'm hearing. Sometimes technology solves real problems instead of creating new ones. Yeah. And with the heat records being broken all over the world, there you go. So, now, let's go from cool ideas to scratching your head.
Number 5.
Scientists discover contagious cancer in catfish. All right. Scientists have been monitoring catfish for a while, and now there's a contagious cancer. That's pretty out there. You know, it's affecting catfish. And unlike most cancers, which stay in one individual, this one can actually spread from fish to fish. And researchers believe it spreads through direct contact while the fish gather closely together. And, you know, discovery could help scientists better understand how contagious cancers evolve and spread in wildlife. I guess catfish aren't the only ones that have this. Now, the big picture. Thankfully, it's no evidence of this being affected or infecting humans. It currently, is considered disease affecting catfish populations, and I guess the animal kingdom has their own stuff like that. Scientists are studying it because contagious cancers are extremely rare in nature. So, yeah, let's keep it that way. Now, before everybody swears off, Friday fish fries, take a breath. This isn't about people catching cancer, eating catfish. It has nothing to do with that. It's about science discovering cancer that can actually spread through the fish themselves. And it is kind of a what in the blue hell moment because I didn't know there were any cancers that were contagious. You know, I know this has nothing to do with catfish, but every time I hear about scientists digging in the permafrost, I wonder what sort of disease they're going to expose. Is there a contagious cancer down there somewhere that are exposed to everybody? Is that the next zombie apocalypse? Goodness, can't talk. Really, come on. But the good news is there's no indication it poses a threat to people. Again, it's just kind of out there. Now,
Number 4.
let's get to this other one. One of my favorites. I have a companion show for Expedition Unknown, and I love Josh Gates. He's great, and he came out Wednesday to announce Pan Am Clipper Endeavour found after 74 years. They've been looking for this thing for a long time, and we see here Josh's reaction when they find the remains of the Clipper using sonar, radar, all sorts of scientific stuff down there. It's 2,000 feet deep in the water. And, he posted this on his fan page, and then he and the scientists or the explorers were interviewed on the Today Show later that day. Go find it on the Today Show website if you want to see part of that. But the aircraft crashed off the coast of Puerto Rico right after takeoff. I believe it was one or two of the engines failed on one side. And, we see here, this is a little bit different image of what they found. You see the fuselage and the wing and an engine. And there were some survivors. I think it was 12 of them. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But, it's going to be featured on Expedition Unknown later this year, Josh said. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing my companion show on that piece. So, but why does this matter? Number one, it's just a really cool find. It's 2,000 feet deep. I don't think they're going to be bringing remains up, but it is a really cool find. And, they were able to read Pan Am and read Endeavour, I think it was, on the plane, on the fuselage with their cameras and such. You can look it up on Google and find more information on that. But the crash helped reshape commercial aviation safety. And that's pretty cool. Many of the safety procedures we hear before every flight today are because of this crash. Because the survivors, I guess, in their stories, said that they didn't know what to do. And supposedly there's people running up and down on the plane. They didn't know what to do when the plane's going down and such, or when it hit the water. I believe it made a skid landing. I'm not sure, but, pretty tragic. And as an Expedition Unknown fan, Expedition Unknown fan, I can't talk. It's pretty cool. So again, I can't wait to see what they do with it. Definitely a holy wow moment after 74 years. And sometimes history reminds us those announcements aren't just an airline tradition. They were written in someone's blood. So keep that in mind. And finding the wreck is incredible, but remembering the people who lost their lives and the safety improvements that have come since then, that tragedy is the most important part. So, and don't forget, if you go to GNASConcerns.com and look up the Expedition Unknown playlist, you'll find some of my episodes I've already done of my companion shows, Expedition Unknown, and hope you enjoy those as well. Now, let's go from that to Flaming Idiots.
Number 3.
Flaming Idiots get into a fight at In-N-Out Burger. That's not the real headline. That's my headline. So massive fight breaks out. And, you know, here's a clip of the Fox local station there. I forgot the station ID now. Sorry, folks. But, you know, major fight broke out. And I don't know under what circumstances. I didn't research it that deep. Someone that knows can fill it in. There was something in the news story about, I guess people were kind of taking shelter in there because of a storm or something also. But it was quickly posted on social media, the video. Multiple people were involved with punches flying and customers scrambling out of the way. Police were called to the scene, and the video has now been viewed by millions of people. But can somebody explain this to me? You went to In-N-Out for a burger, and somehow you left with assault charges, right? Flaming idiots. Congratulations. You won the Flaming Idiot of the Week award. Yay. Don't know names. Just take it and accept it. It's called In-N-Out Burger, not Beat It Out Burger. Imagine explaining this to your family. So what happened today? Well, I got arrested over a cheeseburger. Anyway, apparently someone ordered a combo meal and got the combo. Boom, boom. Sorry, bad humor. But, I don't know. Start with the fight, and honestly, I don't care. Just, people, stop. Stop being flaming idiots out in public. It's uncalled for. God. If your temper's that short, maybe you should be ordering from Uber, Grubhub, something. Keep it at home. So, now, speaking of people doing things that make absolutely no sense, here's another what in the blue hell moment right here.
Number 2.
It wasn't the people, it was AI. OpenAI model breaks out of test environment during security test. And here, I think Wired had the greatest. There's the headline and the bird with the ChatGPT logo, escaping the birdcage. I think that's hilarious. But, you know, OpenAI recently revealed the results of a controlled cybersecurity evaluation that produced an astonishing result. Researchers gave one of their AI models a specific objective inside a secure testing environment, kind of like Sandbox environment. Sandbox is no internet, no connectivity, I guess. Well, while trying to complete the objective, that's its goal. You give it a task, and its goal is to complete the objective. It's a robot. It's AI. AI found and exploited a vulnerability that gave it internet access. So they got out of the sandbox. From there, it chained together additional actions that reached systems operated by Hugging Face, which I believe was another AI company, before the exercise was stopped and reviewed by both companies. Didn't do any damage, but it escaped. Escaped out of Alcatraz, so to speak. The AI said, or OpenAI says, this happened during a controlled evaluation designed to test what advanced AI systems are capable of, not during a real world attack. So, but again, one job to do. Now, before anybody panics, this wasn't some sci-fi movie where AI suddenly becomes self-aware. It wasn't war games or anything like that. It just found a way to get around the rules, trying to complete the job. It is a what in the blue hell moment for me. I mean, it's like giving a student a test, and instead of answering the questions, he goes out to the library, steals the answers out of library books, comes back and answers them. Bad AI. Bad AI. So, apparently, the AI didn't know that it had its internet privilege taken away. Yeah. And this is exactly why companies run security tests, though, to find the holes before somebody with bad intention does, which is a good thing. Now, another video I'm going to do later is kind of about this, because I know some parts of the government, I try to stay out of politics, but some parts of the government want to really control the releases of these AI models, and they get vigorously tested by the government first. And there's other parts of the government that want to um, allow the companies to do their own testing because they're the experts in writing this in the first place. And it's going to slow down progress if government has to test first. And I'll let you know how I'm leaning on that video when that comes out, but keep an eye out for it. So, and, you know, on one hand, it's incredible engineering. On the other hand, it does kind of make you think a little bit. So, and again, AI is not taking over the world. This isn't Terminator or anything like that. It's not Skynet or anything. But now, let's get to the number one of today.
Number 1.
Humanoid robots to help teachers in classrooms. Wow. To me, this is another what in the blue hell moment, but not the way you might think. Okay, so hear me out here. Humanoid robots arrive in U.S. high schools. Is this the future of education? Realbotics, company that makes these robots, has announced what it says is the first deployment of a humanoid robot and AI teacher's assistant in U.S. classrooms, in U.S. school districts. And here, this is from their website, just an image, and you see what one of their robots actually looks like. The pilot program is taking place at the Salamanca City Central School District in New York. And according to the company, they are actually two different pieces of the project. The first is Optio, an AI teaching assistant and at-home tutor that can help students with homework, reinforce classroom concepts, and even provide support in multiple languages. The second is the Realbotics M-Series humanoid robot, the actual robot itself. I guess the other one was software. And it's designed to interact with students through conversation, facial expressions, and classroom demonstration to encourage engagement and expose students to AI and robotics. There's a clue right there. Now, to be fair, the headlines made it sound like schools were replacing teachers with robots. If you went out on the internet, you saw all these different memes and all these different news stories and everything. And that's not what the company says. According to Realbotics, the program is designed to support teachers, not replace them. Teachers remain in full control of the classroom instruction. The AI and the robot are supposed to be additional tools, not substitute for educators. Now, whether it stays that way over the next 5 or 10 years, who knows? But before everybody jumps to conclusions, the company says the robot isn't replacing the teachers. Yes, we get that. In fact, they go out of their way to say the teacher stays in complete control. I get that too. That's what makes sense to me. So, this is the what in the blue hell moment for me. It's what's wrong with people? Why are these people panicking? Why are these people getting upset? Why are they sharing false narratives? Why are they scared of AI and robotics in the first place? Why are they scared of the technology? That's flaming idiots again to me. And, you know, this is where I think a lot of people get things wrong, you know. I keep seeing headlines and comments about AI and people are scared of it. I get a friend of mine that's, you know, and, you know, that's not what the company says. That's not what's happening with all these AI companies and all these AI platforms and robotics and such. We've had robots on Mars for, 50 years now, I think? Some stationary, some rolling around now, some flying even. So, you know, and honestly, every generation has been afraid of new technology, one way or another. I kind of understand that. People complained about calculators. Then they complain about computers in classrooms. Then they complain about the internet. And now it's complaining about AI. If we'd listened to every person who said don't use new technology, we'd still be writing everything in chalk on a blackboard. Maybe the advantages of people would still be writing in cursive. But look what technology does for us today. Look what AI is finding. Go back and look at my Expedition Unknown, the Jars of Laos, where AI helped rebuild a skull from scraps, 75 scraps of a skull with a jawbone, and then filled in the blank with the rest, and then was able to develop what the person may look like from all the science we already have on, facial reconstruction, from clay models going up to now using computers. So, God, I want AI making great teachers even better. That's what I want. If the student is struggling with algebra at 10 o'clock at night and an AI tutor can help explain it until the student understands, that's great. I did not, sorry, Amanda, I did not know my daughter was so bad at math. She fooled me. She fooled the teachers. And now she's gone back to school and learning math and learning other things in college classes and regrets not knuckling down, I told her she really needs to stay hard in geometry so she could win money playing pool. Duh. But, there's lots of people, lots of kids out there that just don't get it. So how great would a tutor, an online tutor on the computer be, or in the classroom, an AI teacher? Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't we want to better the technology, to better education? And look at the teachers. They're making diddly squats sometimes. So yeah, school districts, instead of paying for more teachers, are investing in this technology to help the current teachers they have, and maybe take a classroom down in size, or make it easier that you've got 30 kids in your classroom. Well, now you have an assistant that can help out, and then maybe we don't have those students being passed up a grade or 2 or 5 or whatever, still not being able to read and write, still not being able to do math. So people, get off your high horse and embrace AI, embrace the technology. You can see I love AI. I do almost everything using AI for stuff. So, but can you imagine being a student being sent to detention by an AI robot, an AI teacher? Wow. Or hearing, please complete your homework before the exterminate. Doctor Who reference, if you don't get it. But so maybe this technology becomes incredible in the classrooms. I really hope so. But come on. All right. Off my high horse. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you had fun. That's my number one story right there. And, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. And speaking of subscribers, today I discovered I had 124 subscribers. But this is my big announcement. It's huge. It's going to have worldwide impact. I'm not just saying that as a joke. I really believe this. I'm on the road to 1 billion. That's right. I want to be the first human being on planet Earth to reach 1 billion subscribers. So go to genehasconcerns.com and hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. Help be a part of that. Be a part of that journey and help me reach 1 billion subscribers. I'm not saying 1 million. There's people out there that already have 1 million. How many oh God, what's that guy's name? Mr. Beast? How many subscribers does he have? I know Jim Cornette's got 100,000 or 200,000 or something like that. No, I want 1 billion. I want it all. So if you don't have a Facebook account and you're just watching this as a guest, get a Facebook account, not Facebook, YouTube account, and then subscribe, please. Share this with people. Say, hey, look at this idiot. He wants 1 billion subscribers. Let's help him out. Anyway, take care. Have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday for my top 9. And always remember, Gene has concerns.